Hi guys, welcome back. This video will be top 10 tips and advice for applying for graduate jobs. I do hope to do a series of applying for graduate jobs, help for assessment centres, CV help and things like that. So do stay tuned and you'll see some more videos up on my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So just a bit of background information about myself. I do work for one of the big four and I did get my job through a graduate scheme. At university, I studied international business management with marketing. So anyone that's maybe doing business or finance or economics may go through a very similar process I went through as well. I will also say that whether you're going through finance or any other disciplines, very similar application processes that you may go through. So this video is still going to be very useful for you guys as well. So a lot of the companies do close their deadlines between October, November and December, and then you do have a bunch of companies closing their deadlines in January, February as well, but mainly October, November, December time. Now, some companies you may find that their deadline might be November or December, but once their capacity is full, for example, if there is a limit of 50 people and they have 50 people by late October, then they're going to close the deadlines then. So it's very important to start applying early, get in there early and start applying early so that you don't miss out on those opportunities, you don't miss out on those jobs because you maybe left it till last minute. Tip number 2, my advice is definitely to always adjust your CV according to the company that you're applying for. For example, you may be applying for audit in different firms, but just because you're still applying for audit doesn't mean that that CV applies to all the different companies. You have to ensure that you adjust your CV according to the different firms that you're applying for. One size doesn't fit all when it comes to your CV, and along the lines of your CV as well, please ensure that you add all the keywords. So maybe if you're applying for a role that requires someone that has good leadership skills, you want to ensure that you have good leadership skills on your CV, you know. You can be assured that you're not just going to get rejected straight away. As soon as you apply, maybe 2 a.m. in the morning, you get some automated email saying, "I'm sorry, unfortunately, we have not decided to go ahead with your application, blah, blah, blah," you know. At least you're assured that you're going to get past that first stage at least. Okay, so my next tip is to definitely do your research. Go out of your way to not just search on the website for core values. Think about it. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are just going onto the website, searching up their core values and saying, "I want to work for this company because I am very flexible and I have great cultural awareness," whilst the core value is flexibility and cultural awareness, you know. So you have to go beyond that's on the website. Maybe contact former employers or current employers at the firm and find out what it is that makes that firm different, what they're working on, what their targets are being, the current issues in the workplace. And based on that, when you go on to do your interviews, face-to-face, video interviews, or whatever interviews that you go on to do, you can bring that up and you can discuss that, and then they will realize, oh, okay, this wasn't on the website, so this person has definitely gone out of their way to find out more about the company. So that's definitely a huge tip that I'll give you guys, which should help you during your application process. In addition to that as well, what I would recommend is that you apply for your less desirable companies first and then apply for your most desirable companies later on. Now let me give you an example. When I was applying for different jobs and things, I had rejections left, right and center, like constant rejections. But some of the companies that I got rejected from early on were companies that I really liked. So what I would definitely recommend is that you apply for your less desirable companies first, so it gets you into that habit of applying for jobs, you know, and getting rejected. I'm not saying that you're going to be rejected from every single firm, but you will be rejected from a lot of firms because there's thousands and thousands of people applying. So what to do is apply for your less desirable firms first, and once you've got into the habit of applying, going through the online tests and things like that, that should ease you. You'll become more confident when you're applying for your more desirable firms. So basically, your first few companies allow room for slip-ups in those companies. is what I'm trying to say. Don't just apply for, you know what, some people may advise against this. Some people may say you just apply for anything and everything as long as you get a job. But for me, I was fortunate enough to be in a position to be selective, not too selective when applying for jobs, but selective to the point that rather than applying for 200 plus jobs, just send the CV, go, go, go. I would rather spend more time on less CVs, and less applications, knowing that I definitely want to work for this firm. So if I want to work in, for example, finance, then I knew that all my applications were going to be around finance and the finance industry, finance related. Don't just apply for any and every single firm, because it gets tiring applying for jobs. So make sure that you're selective, but not too selective when you're applying for jobs. So my next tip is to utilize the resources that are available to you. For example, there's an app called Debut, and this app is basically, you have lots of different internships and graduate jobs available to you, and what you do is you put in your information, you put in your interests, your year of study, things like that, and then it can recommend to you different firms and different roles based on your interests and based on your university degree. Also, in addition to that as well, they have things such as webinars, seminars and talent spots. So that may be where an employee from one company may come to Debut and say to them, oh, we recommend this person for this role, and then Debut will basically get in touch with you and say, you have been recommended for this role at this firm, do you want to apply? So doing it that way, you can see they have good connections with many employers, and it's a very useful way for you to apply for jobs as well. You also have the Times 100, and that's very, very useful because you can then go through that list and apply for all the firms that interests you and that has the roles that interest you as well. And you know that this is the top 100 firms in the UK, so you know that they're going to be good or reasonably good. And also you have things such as milkround.com and graduatejobs.com. I can link all of these different apps and websites down below in my description box, and you can have a look at them in your own time. So what really helped me during my whole application process when I was applying for graduate jobs was a spreadsheet. This kept me so organized. It really helped. So what I did was I created a spreadsheet on Excel, and I had a list of all the different roles and the companies that I hoped to apply for and I had applied for. Another row would be for like the status, so if I've applied, if it's pending, if I've been rejected. And I also had deadlines, so I always knew the companies that I had applied for, the companies which the deadlines were ending soonest, and the companies that I still had a lot of time to apply for as well. I'd also have things like the key skills and things that they're looking for in another column. So all of these things really kept me really organized, knowing that I had the spreadsheet with my deadlines, the status of every application I had done. And doing it this way, it was very easy for me to just go, oh okay, I applied for this place, they've got back to me, or I've applied for this place, they've not got back to me, I've been rejected, I've not been rejected, you know. And doing it that way, it just made things so much more easier and more organized for me, and I definitely recommend that. Following that as well, not all jobs are advertised on the company websites, and not all jobs are even advertised as graduate schemes as well. So I definitely recommend that you go out of your way to contact companies to find out if they have any roles available for someone who is a recent graduate. LinkedIn is a perfect place for you to do all that kind of networking stuff. So update your LinkedIn profile, ensure that it's all up to date with everything that you need to do. Maybe for example, you want to work for Google. This is just an example. You want to work for Google and there are no graduate jobs on Google's website. I do believe there are, but let's just say there isn't, for example. Then you can just go to LinkedIn, look for employees that work for Google and reach out to them. Reach out to them, make yourself available, let them know that you're open to any jobs that they have available, and sending in your CV and things like that as well. Utilize your career service at university or college or wherever you are. They are very useful. There are a lot of people within department that can help you, that can check your CV, that can go through practice interviews with you. They can also recommend different websites that you can go to. And also many universities, especially in the UK, they have employers who actually come into the university and give talks. So by going to your career service or going online to find out what they have available, which employees are coming in and what they're going to be talking about, that's a perfect way for you to network with potential employers. So when you apply for different firms, many firms will require you to do online assessments, and once you've done your online assessments, they will give you feedback based on your strengths and your weaknesses. Take that on board, have a look at your weaknesses and work on those for the following application that you're going to do as well. So every time you receive feedback from your from one firm, you get your strengths, your weaknesses, hone in on your strengths and work on your weaknesses. So ultimately, just be yourself, articulate yourself well. They're not looking for perfection, but they're looking for someone that is willing to learn and fits the company culture well as well. So don't lie to yourself if you see a company and you know that this is completely not you. It may even show during your interviews and your assessment center days. So just be yourself, don't try and be someone else, don't try and be what you think they want, but just be yourself, because really and truly, even if you do get the job, how long will you last in that facade of the persona that you've portrayed throughout your application process? So with all being said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video and that there's something in the video that you found useful and that you can take on board when applying for graduate jobs, internships and all things jobs related. And also comment down below if you have any questions or anything at all. Comment other tips and advice that I haven't mentioned as well, which may help people who are applying for graduate jobs. All the best with your application processes. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.